Hello everyone, and welcome to day 166 of playing Persona for Golden in real time. This series where I play you the calendar date in the game on the same date in real life, one day at a time. Now, I've been doing this for the last 165 days, so if you could subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. But today is September 22nd, so let's go ahead and see what the gang is up to today. So let's go ahead, get us synced up to start us off. Today is the autumnal equinox, so you have the day off from school. All you can do now is wait for Naoto's recovery. What should you do today? I'm sure it means the autumnal equinox is like we get school off because it's a holiday, but I just like to imagine that it's like something's going on with the sun or the moon that it's not safe to go out, you can't get to class anymore, everything's in chaos, so it's like, oh, we can't hold school today, it's the equinox throwing everything off. But let's go ahead. If these are our last days because of the autumnal equinox, let's go ahead and make our peace with the Death Lady. So let's get to the riverbank, spend some time with her. Oh, Yu-chan. I wonder where my husband's letters are. Whatever happened to them? When he died, I cleaned out the storehouse. Did I sell them along with everything else? Hisano looks sad. If you found the letters, would you cheer up? Alright, let's go ahead, find those letters. So let's go into town, and specifically the shopping district. Now, Kanji looks pretty down, but we got work to do. So I think this might be it. Have you come to see my art? Please look around. Take your time. By the way, isn't that the Inabout trout I asked you about before? Okay, enough about the trout. Let's go ahead and say no again. And let's go ahead and actually talk with him. I just bought a bunch of antiques from an estate sale by a woman who lost her husband. I found these strange letters in with what I bought. They're love letters. Don't you think it's strange? Throwing them away is a bit cold, and returning them to their owner is also kind of an admission of reading them. Are these the letters that Hisano had told you about before? He asked Idara for the letters he found. Received husband's letters. Alright, he's like, I don't know what to do with these. Oh, a high schooler asked for them? Go ahead. So let's go ahead and bring them back to the rightful owner over by the riverbank.
My.
Yu-chan, I'm happy to see you. Hisano smiles gently. Since you have Ghoul, a persona of the Death Arcana, you two might get along well. You feel your relationship with Hisano is going to become closer soon. Will you spend the day with Hisano?
Yes.
Let's do it. I'd be happy to. Hisano smiles gently.
My.
Yu-chan, those are... You showed Hisano the letters from her husband.
My.
The letters from my husband? How? You told her they were at Daidara.
My.
Oh, just rat him out for reading them. I mean, he wanted to get some separation from it, but had to turn him in. Oh my, it must have been when he came to collect the contents of the storehouse. So that's where I kept the letters. Thank you, Yu-chan. From the bottom of this old woman's heart, I'm so happy. Hisano is very happy. I can tell because she told me. But I'm going to burn them. Oh, we're all twists and turns today. I'll go get some matches. Man, she is not waiting. No hesitation. She's going to burn them. What should you do? I mean, if they're gonna go away, then now's our only chance. Let's go ahead and give them a read. You decide to read a little bit. The wooden well frame. I was once shorter than it. I have outgrown it, and the time that we have been kept apart. That's all the postcard says. Another postcard has a short composition on it. I want to see you so much. How much sky, earth, and water do my words have to run through, on and over to reach you, my dear Hisano-san. How I wish I was this postcard. Excuse me. Isn't that just so sad? He had no idea that he was being deceived. What is going on with her? I'm sure he never imagined that the Asana-san he loved would someday wish to see him dead. Man, there is so many layers to this. Let's try to get some clarification and ask, what do you mean? He was a kind, honest, and loyal man. He fell ill and became bedridden. I had to work to support our family. He would always apologize to me for failing as a husband. When he did, he would smile so sadly. His illness worsened, and he must have been scared. He began to take his fear and frustration out on me, the man who had been so kind. But that didn't bother me at all. I had agreed that I would work and take care of him the day we were wed, in sickness and in health. Okay, this actually did get pretty sad.
But he forgot.
He forgot who I was, and he forgot all about me. I couldn't bring myself to love him. I couldn't forgive the way he would look at me with such confusion in his eyes. And when I cried, he would wipe my tears away, like the man he had been all those years ago. I couldn't forgive that. I couldn't bear that stranger in his body, stealing his mind day after day. When he slept, I tried to kill him. But I couldn't. While I was standing over him, he looked up, and he smiled at me. That same smile he gave me when I was a girl.
And in the same voice he would use to tell me he loved me, he asked, "Who are you, ma'am?"
That was 3 years ago. After that day, he would forget who I was every morning. Every day, he would ask me, "Who are you?" And every day I would answer, "Who am I today?" I was a total stranger to him until the very end. He was being cared for by a stranger as he passed away. That was his punishment. Punishment for forgetting me. That, I gotta say, that is a cruel tale.
I was relieved.
Before I could feel anything else, I felt relief. Relief that it was finally over for both of us. It was then that I realized that I had been wanting him to die. And because I wished it, he left this world and went to the gods. I am death itself. Asano smiles sadly. You feel that you understand Asano a bit more. Do I, though? I mean, do I want to understand this? Alright, apparently we're bonding either way. The old lady's social link has reached level 7. Your power to create personas of the Death Arcana has grown. Please, throw the letters away. I can't bear to see them anymore. I don't want to touch them anymore.
I'm sorry.
You weren't able to give Asano back the letters from her husband. Perhaps you should speak with the owner of Daidara. Alright. There's a few noises, like electronically. I think it's some device that's connected, disconnecting, and then reconnecting. So if you're hearing that beeping noise, like just then, my apologies. I'll try to get that sorted out. Welcome home, big bro. You can work as a janitor at the hospital today. And this was... I thought today was going to be a pretty short day, because, like, hang out with Lady Death, do some reading, that's it. And then Lady Death's whole story about her husband having Alzheimer's, and it's tragic, but it's also kind of... It feels a little odd that she's kind of, like, hating him for having Alzheimer's and forgetting her, but it's like, that's part of the disease. Like, it's not anything personal. But either way, you know, it's easy to judge from the outside. It's a difficult situation either way. But yeah, a lot more tragedy than I was expecting. But either way, let's balance it out with doing some reading of The Gentle Way. You begin reading The Gentle Way. Various judo techniques are described here, along with the origins of their names and other judo trivia. Okay, when it said gentle, I thought it was gonna be like a relaxation, like, meditation book, not judo, but I mean, we've already started it, so we gotta read 2 chapters regardless. You don't feel any stronger, but you feel that you could teach these forms to someone. Maybe Chie? Since you finished hyperspeed reading, you're able to read more than normal. There's still some pages of The Gentle Way left. You decide to save them to read next time. I do like the idea of someone reading a book about fighting, and they're like, yeah, you know, I don't feel stronger, but I think I could take someone on now. And it's like, yeah, put it to practice and see how that works out. But either way, that's going to be another card down. Or, sorry, that's going to bring us on to shuffle time. So, let's see. Today's card is the 7 of Cups in the upright position. So let's go ahead and see what this means fate has in store for us. Upright 7 of Cups meaning. To draw the 7 of Cups in a reading shows that you need to clearly see the shadows and visions in your imagination, not only in your dreams but also in the real world. Seems a bit appropriate to identify shadows while playing Persona. You should be careful of wishful thinking and be alert of the choices that you make. In one sense, the Seven of Cups indicates that you are a dreamer who is both excited and afraid of the things that you see in your unconscious. In another, the Seven of Cups is a reminder that although it is good to have dreams and wishes, it is even better to take action attaining those dreams. At one point in life, you will need to stop fantasizing and face the reality of life. If you are unable to make a decision due to the many options that are available, you should evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of each option so as to make the best choice. It is important to exercise caution when you are making your decision, as the card itself seems to show there is not only wonders and treasures that are available to you, but also monsters and shadows. There are some cases when the Seven of Cups may show you that you are living in ways that are not necessarily grounded in real life, that your actions are guided by illusions that you feed yourself. Your ideas may be so up in the clouds, developed only on your imagination. As such, you will need to separate what is real and what is not so that you can make better choices. The Seven of Cups is also linked with temptation. This applies in the upright meaning and also the Seven of Cups reversal meaning. Okay. So, I think this is pretty... Like, I think you could kind of tell this to anyone, and they'd be like, yeah, you're right, like, I am going through that. But I feel like this is something that's been on my mind recently, partially because there's such an influx of games right now that I'm playing through and kind of wanting to make videos about, but just the rate that they're coming out, it's impossible to keep up with. And so, like, Mortal Kombat 1 came out, I've been playing through that, and I'm tempted to do a review of it, but that's going to take some time, and also, like, the version 2.0 of Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and then there's the Phantom Liberty DLC coming out in a few days. And then Baldur's Gate 3 is a game I still want to beat, but it's very long, and I'm not very far through it yet. And then playing Mortal Kombat 1 makes me want to play Street Fighter 6, just because it's kind of a more tight, good gameplay-focused fighting game. And there's a new DLC character, Aki, that looks pretty interesting, and so very tempting to play. And I also want to play as the Xenomorph in Dead by Daylight. And also, I've been playing Monster Hunter Now, which is a new mobile game that's like Pokemon Go, but with Monster Hunter. So you fight monsters instead of catching Pokemon. And it's pretty fun, but it is so many things right now that playing Monster Hunter Now has made me want to play Monster Hunter Rise, but that's a big commitment in itself outside of everything. And I feel like there's still quite a few more releases coming out later this month. And also Payday 3 just came out, so just so many things that it's unreasonable, like almost impossible to make videos on all of them, and especially to have it to a good enough level of quality that I feel good about posting it, rather than just like, the only way I could really do it is just have an unedited video of me rambling about it and then upload that, but that doesn't feel like it's necessarily worth the audience's time, so I really have to pick my battles. But at the same time, as I'm thinking about all of that, I just know that there's the 500 subscriber special of my history with the Shin Megami Tensei series, and also wanting to make a video of playing through Baldur's Gate 3 with the Geralt of Rivia custom character that is on the backlog and has been there for a while, that is top priority to actually get done. That way too many things, this is kind of something I've been thinking about today, that I really need to pick what I want to do. And it's very easy when all of your free time is like, oh, I should be spending it working on my YouTube channel. I really have to figure out what I want to post each week, kind of make like a schedule, or figure out what I'll make that week, and just kind of stop there, because otherwise outside of that I won't have time to like read, watch TV shows, play board games, anything else. It's very, like, anything else, anytime I have free time, I feel like it should be spent on making YouTube content. But I definitely need to find that balance, because even outside of all that stuff, I also want to get back into working out, exercising more consistently, and eating healthier, and that's another time commitment. So really, this is kind of something that's been on my mind today, but this card is just kind of bringing that to light, that really need to sit down, draw out what my priorities are and what I'm going to be spending time on. And yeah, it shouldn't all be one thing. It should be a balance, a stable balance of the areas that I determine are worth my time. So, that's something I'll have to decide, and I feel like everyone probably has that in their own lives, that I feel like I've said a lot about having intent with how you spend your time, make sure that's worthwhile, and that the priorities in your life is reflected by the way you spend your time. And so, I think everyone could benefit from spending some time reevaluating that for themselves and seeing what are your priorities and what battles you're willing to fight and which ones really don't provide any value but take more time than the more worthwhile ones. But, I think that's enough rambling for today. Just all in all to say, you know, do some self reflection, think about things, and make sure you're spending it well, referring to your time, that is. But either way, that's a very thought provoking card down and another day done. So feel free to subscribe if you'd like to follow along with the journey as I do this every day. But either way, thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.